Hello, you are listening to Clearly Bored, featuring Malware Ferg, or Fergbot.
What up, what up?
And I am Ryan. This is a new podcast, and frankly, we don't know what the hell we're doing, and clearly we're bored.
Clearly.
And we're going to laugh at our own jokes a lot because we think we're funny, and we're hoping that you at least tolerate it in a broader sense. But we're going to talk about mostly like music stuff. We're going to talk about some entertainment, like movies, stuff like that. According to my agenda, it says we have to tell ourselves. We have to tell ourselves about ourselves because, yeah.
Wait, so we were that bored that we actually came up with an agenda for this?
I mean, we're that bored. We're talking to a wall in the hopes that other people will listen in the interwebs.
Yeah, that's pretty boring. We're pretty boring.
I mean, that's the point.
That makes sense.
Clearly, we got that from the title. Let's assume that our audience can figure that out. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Malware Ferg.
Yeah, so my name is Malware Ferg. I go by many other names besides Malware Ferg. Currently, I'm doing this podcast because clearly I'm bored. But no, in all honesty, I'm just out here helping Ryan, and I'm glad to be a part of this. A lot of the topics that we're going to be talking about, of course, they're all things that interest us from music to video gaming to, attending concerts and so on and so forth. All these things interest me. I share a passion with Ryan about it. So I'm very interested to get on these topics and discuss them and see what everybody has to say about it. But besides doing this podcast, sometimes I write on my spare time. I DJ as well, and I know we're going to be talking about DJ gigging as well as live musician gigging. So I'm pretty interested about that conversation. But just in general, I'm glad to be here, and I'm looking to see how far this gets.
He also enjoys long walks on the beach, soft hands. He likes a good cuddle.
I do. I even like going to the movies by myself.
I love going to the movies by myself.
Me too. It gives me time to think. I can share the popcorn with nobody but myself.
Well, why are you going to the movies to think? Shouldn't you be going to the movies to not think?
No, I go there to think, man.
So you don't watch the movie.
You
pay over $10 to think.
Most likely because I can't do it in my own house, so yes.
All right. So tells me this is getting heavy.
This is getting heavy, guys. This is getting heavy.
If you can't tell, but I'm pulling on my shirt collar because it's awkward.
No, seriously, what Ryan said is actually on my dating profile, so that's actually very...
It probably is.
It actually is. I'm that one person that thinks very hard on the profile. I don't know. Nobody ever reads them, so it doesn't even matter.
I don't know. I feel like... this is not on the agenda, but since we're already entering this realm, I kind of feel like there's a lot of people who put a ton of effort into their dating profiles. I haven't been on one, but besides the fact that my girlfriend and I tried to find each other on Tinder so we get free shots at a bar.
There's some incentive there.
Yeah, it's a rough economy.
Yeah, it is.
Shots are important,
and they're expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's enough. All right. Nah. We're not going there. But no, it's a thing. Like, sometimes people want nothing on their dating profile, and that's what works. And other people, like, they have to go super in depth.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's people who are, like, serious.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, no, you know what?
You brought it up.
Yeah, it's funny, because there definitely is, having been on, dating sites within, like, the last year or, like, these dating apps, you get a mix and mesh of people. And I've been in the process where I'm like, should I be putting more stuff about me? Should I not? Should I keep it blank? But then I also realize, like, when I come across other blank profiles, I'm like, are they a fake person? Is this like a bot or something? So then I just skip them. So I feel like I should fill it out and let them know I'm real. But then
that is a motivation.
I end up sounding like a Nicholas Sparks movie. So I don't know, It's like I'm trying to be this Nicholas Sparks guy. Like, yeah, man. Like, yeah, it's not working out.
As someone who works in publishing, I know that he has a new book coming out.
Yeah, actually. Oh yeah, he does. I don't know if I haven't read many of his stuff. I watched the movies, but I don't know. Maybe I should pick up a book. This
I feel like you're actually creating a verbal dating profile right now.
No.
You're basically saying I watch Nicholas Sparks movies. I want to write something on my dating profile, but I really don't know what to say. This is like typical dating profile crap right here.
Listen, for future reference, if I ever need it, if you guys are out there watching, what do you put on your profile?
Well, they're not watching.
Oh, that's right. No, they're not watching. Listening, watching. Listen, you might be listening, but you might be watching a blank black TV. I don't know, just whatever. But for any of our fans out there that listen to this, tell us what you put on your profile. We want to know.
Well, I love the call out to get people involved, but we don't have fans yet. This is the first one. I mean, it's
I was
very
being a little too hopeful.
it's forward thinking, and I enjoy that. I enjoy a good forward thinker. So you can put that on your dating profile. You're forward thinking.
Forward thinking.
All right, let's get back
Yeah,
to the
let's get
whole
to this.
purpose of this thing before.
Well, tell us a little bit about you. Hopefully it's not as long-winded as mine. But.
Well, I am a video person. I work for a publishing company. I do video there, and I run Frosted Green Productions. I'm really not that interesting. I'm a musician. Like John said, he's a DJ. I'm a solo musician. I'm not gonna self-promote right now.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just plug myself.
Quick set.
For yeah, right. I'm so desperate for shows that I just play on my own podcast. I'm sure it's been done, honestly.
I'm sure it has to.
But yeah, so mine's a lot shorter than John's because I know no one cares, and that's what is the essence of clearly being bored. Brought it full circle. All right, let's kick it in the direction that it should be going. I did read. Did you read the article?
I did.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't.
Wow.
I read the headline and I skimmed it.
This is Ryan who sends me an agenda midday, probably on a couple days ago.
It was actually not midday. It was like 2 in the morning.
Actually, like 2 in the morning, midday for me, because I sleep all day and then I'm up all night. Yeah, I'm lazy ass bastard. But this is a guy that sends the agenda and doesn't read the article. Good job, Ryan.
Thank you.
Good job.
It's
we're sending a clear message to the audience that we don't even do our own research.
I mean, do you ever do your own research? I'm actually bringing up the article right now because that's just incompetency at its finest. All right. So this article that we found is from an online source called Louder. It says that we officially stopped discovering new music at the age of 30. And without going through the whole article, I want to analyze that headline a little because I do know for the fact that, well, not for the fact. Well, it might be for a fact. I should check my facts. I have been told that at the age of 25, your body actually starts to, in a very loose sense, die. Mm-hmm. And I'm 25. You're 26.
Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed that in terms of music, that I still look for new stuff. But my personal standards are higher. I have noticed that because I guess I'm at the age where I already know what I like. Mm. And if it doesn't have that similar twinge or similar theme, I find myself skipping.
Yeah, yeah.
But in a health sense, I am peeing a lot more. I am peeing a lot more. At 4 in the morning, I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I have to pee.
And you're not even sure if you're gonna make it at that point to the toilet because you're
I'm
so
all
old.
groggy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Just wait, where's the bathroom? Even though I'm in a studio apartment, the bathroom's a straight shot.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a better chance of falling and breaking my hip. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about death?
Well, death. It is what it is. We're all gonna die at some point. But getting to the article directly, I love how this article on the music website. It's like music paralysis, like it's some scientific journal or something like that. Like it's I don't know. I think I agree with you. I think when we grow up, we hear music. There's certain music that appeals to the younger generation. Like I know for me, when I was growing up, it was I might get some flack for this, but loved Insane Clown Posse. I loved,
Why would you get flack for that?
I don't know.
I mean, they're douchebags, but you're not acting like them.
Yeah. So it's I liked growing up. I liked Insane Clown Posse. I liked Twisted. I liked all of that. Post-hardcore, metalcore scene kind of thing. Bless the Fall, Escape the Fade, Bring Me the Horizon, all that. But then as I got older, I think you're right. You get a higher standard of music because that music, you realize that music might just not cut it anymore. You're looking for something that is a little bit more appealing to you. We go through all of these different phases and whatnot. But I don't know if I 100% agree with that. You know, I'm 26 now. I'm not 30. But I like to consistently see what's out there in the market. I consistently like to do that. I like to see what's new and upcoming. What kind of new genres of dance music or other kind of music is popping right now, or of popular music, or what kind of new bands are coming up in the rock circuit or the metal circuit. So I feel like I like to try to stay up on my knowledge as much as I can. But the article does cite sometimes there's other external things happening. There's kids come along. Or sometimes the music is just overcrowded. There's too much music and you don't know where to look. So maybe you just stick for a time knowing what listening to what you know already. So I think that does happen, and it's hard to want to come home and sit down and listen to new music when I can just throw on my iPod and already have what's there. So I think really it is 50-50. Just to tell a quick story, my dad is very into music, as you would know. And
he was motioning to me.
Yeah, I'm motioning to him like it means something. But Ryan knows that my dad's really into music
and Nick Cage.
And and Nicolas Cage. That's a whole.
Not ironically, he actually loves Nick Cage.
He literally has every Nicolas Cage movie. Will text me like this new Nicolas Cage movie came out. First of all, I didn't even know this thing came out. There's no marketing around it. It's just like he's subscribed to his newsletter, like his only follower. It's so great.
National Treasure 12.
Yeah. So my dad's very into music, and he has his music. He has his catalog of music that he listens to. But because I listen to so many different genres of music and so many just different areas of music, it kind of gets him interested. And he's like, let me see what you punk asses are listening to nowadays. So I've caught him with a few of the CDs, like Panic at the Disco, like stuff you would.
Your dad likes Panic?
He doesn't really like them, but he'll buy like the CD. He'll be like, yeah, I heard a couple tunes and I found the CD pretty cheap. It was on sale, so
I'll never listen to it though.
Yeah, I'll never listen to it though. But you know what? Like you were jamming it in the car, and I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it had a good vibe to it. And I was like,
so it's an emotional thing. You're his son, and he sees that you enjoy it, so he wants.
Yeah, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, it's kind of catchy. I wouldn't listen to it on a daily basis, but like I remember you listening to it in the car. It had a good vibe. It was whatever. Like I'll buy it, but I might not listen to it all the way through. Yeah, he's a funny individual.
He's trying to relate to his son. He's
relate,
being a good dad.
Trying to relate. Yeah.
But on here, no, it does say that in this article, it says that 60. They did a survey, and it says 60 of those people felt like they were in a musical rut, and they found themselves only listening to artists they already know. So I think that is like to your point. Like I think work and stuff like that, just you don't have time anymore. Yeah. I try to go through like the new releases and stuff, but like because they have like the samples before you buy it, so I'm not gonna buy it. Like I know everyone probably listening is probably like, who you buy music? Like, like I am a law abider, but no, I mean like I feel sometimes that sample isn't enough because I don't know how they pick those samples. But like they're not. I've noticed that like they might be like the slow part of the song.
Oh man, yeah.
So it's like it's really not selling.
It's not really. It doesn't really do the song justice or the band.
Or maybe like the bridge is the coolest part of the song. Or but like usually it's the chorus. Yeah. But sometimes like it might stop right before the chorus, and then you're just like, oh, wasn't thrilled with the bridge, so I'm not gonna pay $1.69, which. Why are songs $1.69 now? Remember when they were $1?
$1.
And at the most, it was like, I think it went to $1.20 at one point.
Yeah.
But like, that's bullshit. Now it's $1.69.
And sometimes the bargain bin deals are like 69 cents.
Yep. Yep. And you'll see like some of the older groups, like Newfound Glory, I think still has 99 cents.
Yeah.
But like all like the Ariana Grande stuff and everything, that's $1.69. You're paying top dollar, or you're paying over $1, not top dollar.
It'd be interesting to know what everybody else thinks.
For
those who watch this video. I think it all depends.
Listen.
Listen. To this video. We have the GoPro strapped on back here, so I'll keep.
The GoPro stacked to my neck.
So I'm gonna get
giraffe.
that wrong for at least one podcast, and then I'll get used to it. But no, I think it really just depends on all of the circumstances going on in somebody's life that might dictate if they're gonna listen to new music or not. And to be fair, keeping up with the new releases like on Google Play. or even Apple Music or whatever, there's always new releases coming out.
Yeah, I think every Friday.
Every Friday,
yeah.
it's like there's like 8 or 9, 10 new things. You just missed the Friday before that, so now you got 20 things that you have. So it's very hard, and then you gotta, it doesn't show you all the releases, so you gotta hit see all, and then you're just going down the list. You're like, holy crap, didn't even know this band has something going out.
And on Spotify, it's probably even harder. I don't use Spotify.
Yeah, I don't use it either, so I don't know how.
But I from what I have seen of it, like I'm there probably is a suggestions tab or something like that. But
based on the music you listen to or what's trending.
But even that closes you up, like the suggestion tab. Like I mean, granted, something is going to be different a little bit, so it might open you up to further suggestions.
Yeah.
But like at least it depends. It really depends on how you search and stuff. But I do feel like, I guess this is right in a sense that at the age of 30 you kind of wind down and finding new stuff. Like also in my sense, I'm always going to like local shows and stuff. So new music is something most people will not hear of. Yeah, so like I'll pay $5 for if someone's like a good musician or has a great set and they're nice. Even if they're not like the hot new thing, like I'll still buy it because like I want to support local music. I mean, obviously not everyone has that taste or opportunity.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Actually, so how do you, because as a DJ you have to constantly, now you're gonna have to continually find new stuff and stay basically in the top 40, but the top 40 is constantly changing, but it also has stuff that resonates.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was going to say, you do music yourself, and you're always like going to local shows, so you're exploring new music just about every day, especially filming other bands and stuff like that. So you do pretty good. I think you're going to continue to do that as you get older. But yeah, with DJing too, part of my job as a DJ is to know what's going on at the moment and what's happening. And it's important to know what's on the top 40 Billboard or top 50 or the top 100. And I constantly have to be up on new music, even if it's music I do not like. There's a couple of, rappers out there, and there's a couple of pop artists that I wouldn't necessarily listen to on my free time, but I know that the audience would listen to them, and people would prefer to hear those songs. So, really, I see myself in the future, expanding my horizons, because I do everything from, hip-hop, R&B, old school hip-hop, pop, dance, and there's millions of different types of dance music, future bass, techno, house, whatever.
Future bass is a genre?
Future bass is a genre. There's trap.
What's
It's we're not gonna go into genre bending, because I still don't understand how they get some of these genres. Like trap, EDM music. The BPM is like a 75.
It's about the BPM. Okay.
Future bass has like a very similar, sort of BPM. I would assume. I'm still relatively new to DJing electronic music, but there's just too many, and I'm just like, what the fuck? It's just like, you always got to be up to date, because there's new music dropping every week at least, so there's always going to be new songs in the top 40 depending on what's popular and what's not popular. So it's DJing is really getting to know your crowd and getting to know what's popular, and that's important for that job.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to live musicians aspect of it. I mean, I guess if I was someone who was playing like restaurants and stuff like all the time, I would have to do similar. But I mean, the benefit, I guess, of me is I can do, well, actually, no, it's the same thing. Like, if I wanted to make a mashup, I could still do that, technically, as long as, like, the chords match up, and which is the same thing you would have to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, I feel like with me, though, if I play something, and then, like, wherever I'm playing wants only covers or something like that, I feel like I have more liberty. I think with you, like, it's very much like, this is what we need for this crowd.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I mean, obviously, a good musician or entertainer in general has to cater to their crowd.
Of course.
But I feel like I have a little more leeway, because if I do something cool, like, or something that stands out, because I'm not saying that you don't have a performance a performance angle, but I'm saying more like if I run around the stage doing something, or like I jump on the drum set or something like that, it's a little bit different. It's a different type of attention that you're trying to grab.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, and I guess and DJs do cool stuff too. They jump on the table, they scratch, they do like a lot of performance stuff for there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
some of those DJs get wild.
Yeah, no, they're like, especially some of the ones you've shown me. They have very like intricate performances.
They do. Yeah.
And it's not just like standing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel like I mean, what's also the difference is I feel like there's a lot more DJ gigs available.
Okay. Yeah.
Because not just because that's what's making money. I mean, I'll find a dive bar that's booking bands, but like at the end of the day, like I can bring I'm being real generous to myself right now. I could bring 20 people on a fantastic night.
Yeah.
But if the bar is known to have popular DJs and good music, it's also not on you to bring in a bunch of people. You just have to do a good job.
Yeah.
Like, but because that bar or restaurant already has a clientele, they can just assume that it's going to work out.
It's going to work out,
yeah. So if that's definitely a harder thing on my end, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's very difficult, especially like you said, with DJs, they're playing the popular tunes, like the tunes that everybody knows, you know what I mean? So and then like if you are booked at a bar or like a club and it's like, oh, this local guy, you know what I mean? Like that's like the stigma. It's like, oh, it's this local guy playing songs that we're not gonna know or enjoy, so why are we gonna go? You know what I mean? We'll just wait till the DJ clears in or the other night crowd clears in. It's very tough. Like you guys have a very
it's interesting because like I promote and I book shows myself, and it's like you're trying to constantly push your show and like make like these awesome artists that you've booked appeal to people who wouldn't normally see them, and it's like even if you promote like they're this kind of genre, or you do like for fans of Frank Turner, for fans of Blink-182, for fans of Ariana Grande, like it's still, even with that, it's like, well, they're not Ariana Grande, they're not Frank Turner, and then it's just like, and also I'd rather get a night out of it and pay $60 to see X, or pay $5 when I could just listen to X on my phone instead of just wasting that $5.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a weird concept to me because $5 isn't a lot.
It's not. No, it's really not. Like I don't. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, that's why I think a lot of people attach charities to stuff, and that helps because people want to help other people, which is great. Yeah. But it's very hard to draw people in, and that is one thing that I constantly try to discover ways of bringing people in, because it's not easy.
It's not.
I'm glad I don't run a bar. Oh. Running a bar that does live music, that must be the most stressful thing. Yeah. Especially in like New York City, or like New York City, if you run a bar, you're stressed anyway.
Yeah, you're stressed. But automatically, even without music, you're stressed.
Yeah.
If you're running a bar, and especially in like these busier areas like New York City, the city areas, not only are you getting lots of people there, but if you're doing live music, I mean, like, yeah, if you have DJs there, I mean, not all DJs are going to be awesome. There's DJs that are really, really good, top-tier DJs, and then you bring in, like, maybe somebody for the first time, and this person just doesn't resonate. I've been to dance places, I've been to bars, when I was living up in Albany. One particular that I always went to up there, I remember the last time I went, I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, the music's always great. And then they brought in this newer guy, and I was just like not feeling it. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of people there.
Like he wasn't good?
I'm not saying he wasn't good. I mean, from another DJ, and like I'm not an expert, so I'm not saying that I've been doing it for years now. It's like I just really started. I consider myself more than capable to handle the basics, but just like the music selection wasn't that great. The songs didn't really tell a story. Like he wasn't mixing songs. Like it would be going to like, it was like a back and forth. Like there was rap, and then pop, and then trap, like ratchet music.
So they didn't flow.
Then pop. Yeah, there was no story. Like when you're a DJ, right? I mean, like you want to have a set that makes sense in terms. Okay. You want to be able to play. Like the rule of thumb is like if you're doing hip-hop music, right? And you're just a general DJ. You're just there at the lounge, just being a general DJ, playing what's hot. You don't want to go to, like, pop, rap, pop, rap, pop, rap. It's like you want to play 5 rap songs or 6 rap songs. Then you want to switch it up. You know, you can switch into a different BPM measure. So you know, you like either cut the deck, spin the deck, jump into a new track that's pop, because pop usually is over 100 BPM because it's a little bit faster. You know, some of them you have slower songs, you know, slower paced ballad type songs. And
like Adele or something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
then you play 4 pop songs in a row, and then you go back to rap. You know, like I felt like he was just switching too much in between all of this music, and it just wasn't flowing. Nobody could get the rhythm to dance, or because like by the time you dance, it was like already another pop song that like was
okay.
like I just got into being ratchet on the dance, and now it's like Selena Gomez is playing, and like now I'm like.
You're getting your twerk on, and then all of a sudden the song ends, and you're still bent over, but it's just like, well, shit.
Yeah, popping ass. Don't stop me. Now I have to dance to Selena Gomez. Now I'm like at an awkward angle, bent over, and now I'm fist pumping. Like, yeah, guys.
And then you just look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And it's just
it's like, you know, I just created a new dance move. Like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You know, it's in right now. Do it in the clubs.
But also then it goes back to being 30, and then your back hurts.
It's
just like,
that's it. It's like,
if I was going to do this, I want to look good.
Yeah. It's like, well, thank God this area has lots of hospitals. So.
Yeah. No, we're in Queens. So. But I guess that's another thing, too. Like, if it's easy, if you're not a good DJ, it's easy to be like, all right, we're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Like,
and you know what? As a DJ, just not to cut you off, but you're gonna play songs that don't resonate with the
it's gonna happen.
But like, it's your job to pick up on that and say, oh, okay, wait, hold on. Everybody just got off the dance floor.
You gotta read the room. Yeah.
Okay, now like let me spin out this record into this track that everybody knows. You know. So I mean, like that's also the DJ's job. You're not gonna play not everybody knows every song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't listen to a lot of the radio. I mean, like, now that I DJ, I have to know these songs. But, like, before that, I didn't listen to the radio. So if I went to a club, I'd be like, who sings this song? Like, it's good, but I don't know who it's by because I don't listen to the radio like that anymore. But, yeah, I think, that's a good way to look at it.
I guess in both aspects, just to wrap it up, but, like, in both aspects, I guess, like, if I have a shit set, and then, like, and I'm also just, like, a white guy from Queens. You know how many white guys from Queens have acoustic guitars? Like, it's a lot. And then, like, you got Long Island, even more white guys with guitars. So
you actually have your own Facebook group, white guys with guitars.
Do you doubt that there is one? It's probably a lot of bad people in there, but like, but yeah, no, it's like it all comes down to like if you don't do your job well, I mean, unfortunately, there's consequences to that. I mean, everyone's gonna have a bad night, like you said. Like, you're gonna play songs that people don't resonate with, and that's just part of it, I guess, of being a performer. Or like same with comedians. If you tell it, well, comedians, it's a little different too, because if you say something really messed up, that could actually screw you over. It could ruin your career.
Oh, yeah. Ruin the night of everybody, and most importantly,
there's a level. There's like ruin your career, or just not be allowed back at that bar.
Yeah.
But I guess we kind of touched on it already. But last weekend or the weekend before was the Governor's Ball.
That was June 1st, Friday, I believe.
For rock fans out there, the Gaslight Anthem is kind of back together.
Is it a I mean, they haven't promised an album, but I know it's like just a reunion to promote the
10th anniversary of 59 Sound, which was like their first like breakout album.
Yeah, really good album. Actually.
It's fantastic. Yeah. But actually, I prefer the one after better, American Slang one. I like that one a lot better. Mm-hmm. But is they're promoted that it's probably a label move to like obviously get some more money, but. So they were on Governor's Ball, and I think they were playing the same time as.
Well, I think was it 2 Chainz? It was
2 Chainz, yeah. And they, for a band that's, as of like 2-3 years ago, was very popular, they had nobody at their set. And they were all at 2 Chainz. Yeah. And like they're from New Jersey. They probably felt like they were back in a New Brunswick bar. Yeah. and from what I was reading on the article that we have here, it was just they took it in stride. They played it and they had a good set. Yeah, even the headline is the Gaslight Anthem played a good set to almost no one. So it's just like that's like another thing. Like people aren't looking for new stuff anymore. No. Even if this isn't even new, for even like an artist that's promoting old stuff that people used to like, it's forgotten. it's done.
Yeah.
Like, and it sucks. Like, it's even, I guess, for pop stars too. If Pink disappeared for 4 years, it depends on how they market it. If they market it as a giant comeback,
Yeah.
maybe. But if she dropped like a low key single, and I hate that phrase, I don't know why I just used it.
You secretly love it.
No, I hear it so much. No, if it was like a very under the radar thing, or she changed genres, because I feel like she teeters on pop rock and straight pop.
Oh, yeah.
So if she made like an indie ballad or something, and it's just they slipped it out there, I have a feeling it would disappear very quickly. Like that first 2 weeks, it would be like, Pinka is back, but then after that, just
yeah. I have, if you don't mind, a couple things to say about the article itself and Governor's Ball in general.
Oh boy, it's getting tense.
So just to talk about Governor's Ball in general, and then I have some questions that I'll pose to you. First of all, I wish I really went to this year's Governor's Ball.
I've never been.
You know, just to kind of mention the type of people that were there: Jack White, Yaya Yaz, Post Malone, Shawn Mendes, Damian Jr., Gong Marley, the one song I know by him that I probably would have left right after. Travis Scott, Silk City, which was a electronic kind of mix up between Diplo and Mark Ronson. The Gaslight Anthem, Halsey, 2 Chainz, Pusha T, Eminem, Khaled, Lil Uzi Vert, Vic Mensa, Third Eye Blind, were just some of the folks who were there, but more of the bigger ones. I listen to a variety of different music. I don't just listen to one genre. So, I mean, yes, as a DJ, I play a lot of the hip-hop, the rap stuff. I do like some of those guys. Like, I like 2 Chainz. I like Travis Scott. Whatever you might think about rap as a whole nowadays, there's some good jams by those guys. And I did actually have the chance to watch the full Gaslight Anthem set.
Oh.
Because it is a 1080, very beautifully filmed video from their live stream.
I didn't know that was up.
Hour and a half long, I think. They played the whole 59 sound album in its entirety, along with some of the other songs. So I thought, in general, the set was absolutely amazing.
Cool.
They killed it from their opening all the way to the last song. So again, congratulations to them. You talk about like fans not really wanting to hear new things, right? Mm-hmm. And you saw the fans in the audience that were there, and
wasn't a lot, or was there?
It actually, the article makes it sound, in my opinion,
like there was less.
And this is for you guys and for you, Ryan, to like go back and look and just tell me what you think. There actually seemed to be a lot of people there. Not maybe what they're accustomed to. It's all about who's popular. Like, Governor Ball models himself after who's mainstream, right? It's like, who's mainstream? And it's a different type of crowd that are there. Teenagers, these party kind of people. I'm not saying anything bad. But
the article says that too, actually.
Yeah, that's the group of kids and individuals and music listeners that it attracts. They go there to, like, rage, with 2 Chainz and Travis Scott, Shawn Mendes, for all the young chicks that were probably there. So again, it really caters to a particular audience. In my opinion, I thought Gaslight actually had a very good turnout compared to maybe some of the other bands that were lower on the bill that like nobody probably went to go see at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are a known name. But like, does Governor's Ball do them a disservice by putting them in there?
That's a good question. I think they touch on that too.
Because like they're a pretty popular band. They've been around for a long time. They have a big following.
Yeah.
But it's like you put them with like more people are gonna see 2 Chainz and Travis Scott and all these other people. You know what I mean? And I think the article even goes into that their last album, Get Hurt. I never listened to it.
It's rough.
It was rough. and even Fallon in the band,
the singer, he said it was rough.
It and it's like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really rough. And the article even speculated that they lost out to Jack White as headliners for that first night because that album didn't do necessarily so good and it was kind of like low on the totem pole. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but they kind of speculate that. But really, does Governor's Ball do them a disservice? Like, do people really want to see them?
I think it's a lot more complicated than just like, are they gonna pull a lot of people? Because I do know that labels are involved. Mm-hmm. And there is a money end of it.
Yeah.
So I think because of course the festival has a budget.
Of course.
And Governor's Ball probably has a very, very, very big budget. But
very big, and they blow it very quickly with some of those headline acts.
And I think that's I think they definitely go for the priorities first. Like they go for the 2 Chainz. They go for the like Travis Scott, like you said, and Shawn Mendes, because those guys are the ones who are going to make their return on it.
Of course,
they're going to make their return, and they're not worried about that. But they have, once those big names are done, they have. I know always like that company, Founders Entertainment, whenever they do shows, I think they do the Meadows too. I believe I might be wrong, but those types of New York City based concerts, I know that they have at least some budget for the little guy. And by the little guy, I mean like CMJ, little guy. Yeah. Like, and that's like 3 steps above where I'm at. But like, that's still a little guy. So I'm like an ant. I'm like down on the floor with all the white guys with guitars. But
I knew you guys had a nest somewhere.
We all just gather. But I'm sure that Gaslight Anthem and Third Eye Blind are on the higher end of things. But they're also, and there's a huge age difference between Third Eye Blind and Gaslight Anthem. Gaslight Anthem is in their mid to late 30s. Stephen Jenkins from Third Eye Blind is 50 and change. Yeah. So, but the way things are for rock music right now, they're at the same spot. Even though Third Eye Blind has made millions more and has had platinum records, and Gaslight has had platinum records, but not to the extent Third Eye Blind has, it's crazy because now they're on the same playing field.
Exactly.
And because you're not going to hear Gaslight Anthem on the radio anymore. They have they brought back that finally that rock alternative station, which honestly they play the same stuff. It's the same
It's literally on rotate.
They're on a 3-hour looper about that. And it's like, you hear Vance Joy, you hear Red Hot Chili Peppers, you hear like a Green Day song. Maybe Nirvana. But then you also hear the borderline rock, like Hosier, or you'll hear like Alex Clare. For some reason, that one song's still going around. Just Too Close to Love You. I'm too close to turning it off. But it's just like, for about 4 years, there was no rock in New York. Yeah. And I think that also, because at Lollapalooza, like in Chicago, the music scene there is completely different. And Lollapalooza will book the Foo Fighters. Lollapalooza will book Paramore and stuff like that.
They're doing it right with rock music there.
Well, it's not even doing it right. It's the fact that like K-Rock still exists there.
That's true.
It's like Eye of the Beholder kind of thing. Like if you, or no, not Eye of the Beholder. Out of Sight, Out of Mind. So like, since we had only pop and rap and trap for 4 years in New York State, or at least New York City part of New York State, everyone doesn't really remember these bands.
No,
like,
you're right about that.
It'll come on like a jukebox every once in a while, or but you'll hear like Semi Charmed Life, like and like maybe a DJ will throw it in there. You're just the do, and then like you're like, oh wait, I know that, and then I'll turn to something else.
Okay, this is actually 2 Chainz remix.
Yeah, no, they'll probably do that, and because a lot of artists like 2 Chainz and those in that genre will sample as well. So you'll hear like what's that one song? It's older. It's a few years old now, but it's a straight rip off of Cheap Trick. I Want You to Want Me.
Yeah.
It's a straight ripoff of Cheap Trick, and it's like I heard that and I was like, what? And I mean, it's obvious. I'm a rock person. Like I enjoy rock music, but I also enjoy some pop music as well. And it's just, I probably would still see Shawn Mendes because I actually know for a fact he's very talented. He's a very talented singer and guitarist.
A lot of respect for him.
But if you listen to his record, you wouldn't know he played guitar.
No, because it's very like. Yeah, you wouldn't even know because you listen to it. It's got so many extra like, and it sounds almost like it's made just like produced like just artificial, just through your software.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy is very talented, and the CDs they do him justice because they are polished, they sound great and whatnot. But then you see him live and you're like, wait, he plays guitar, like, wow, and he's actually really sings and he's good.
He's good, yeah. He's actually a super talented dude, and he was like, that's where I would cross over. I'd be like, I'm gonna see this guy. He's got chops. Yeah. But like, and then you have like, but then there's an interesting aspect where like you have Ed Sheeran, who is pop, but he's not just beat pop. He's
not. He's got band music kind of.
Yeah, he does have like electronic aspects, but like mostly it is him and his guitar.
Yeah.
And that will still sell out. So I don't know. It's very strange.
It's very strange. It's very strange.
It's there's obviously there was an answer to it. All these quote unquote washed up artists would have fixed it by now.
It's like, you know, if the article thought Gaslight's crowd was bad, I wonder how Third Eye Blinds was.
Oh
Because
yeah.
they were playing much lower than Gaslight Anthem.
Oh yeah. Now the
And, you know, it's like I also wonder how Jack White's crowd was.
he just put out a new album.
Okay, so I mean, like, because like honestly, like I don't really like Jack White's
I don't
solo
either.
stuff.
I heard that at least that he's made it so if you go to a Jack White concert, probably it's different with the festivals. He doesn't want you to have cell phones.
Really?
He doesn't want you on your
He
phone.
actually enforces this. Does he
I don't know how. I don't think it's stuck. It
The
probably
Jack White
didn't stick.
police?
They're just like
They just
pretentious
come, yeah.
jerks who just like,
Yeah.
well, like put it away.
Of him, and they just look like
It's
him.
terrifying. And it's just like it's interesting because obviously many reasons you have your phone, and it's not just to be sitting there for the tickets that you paid $80 for
Yeah.
to do this. It's because I have to call a Lyft to get back to my hotel or
yeah.
my
Or there's some family emergency that might
Yeah.
be going on, or like you need to touch base with somebody.
yeah like the obvious reason.
And you know, listen, I absolutely love Jack White. I think he's a great guitar player.
You just said you didn't.
No, hold on, no, listen. I like Jack White because I think he's a great guitar player.
Yeah,
Do
he
I
is.
like his solo music? Not really. I mean,
yeah.
there's songs here and there that I can like listen to, but I mean, I remember the Jack White of the White Stripes. I mean, that's the Jack.
That
White,
was better.
You know? And I just, in general, I've seen many videos of him just playing. You know, just playing licks, and the guy can play. He's a great guitarist. I just don't like his solo music. So I mean, like, you know, I was wondering what his crowd was like over there. You know, like. Is it bigger? Is it not so big? I know he's like very mainstream, but
I feel like he's gonna. I again could be completely wrong. I feel like he's gonna fizzle out.
soon. It already kind of started until this album came out.
Yeah,
Really.
I feel like because the White Stripes have been gone now for a while.
Yeah.
They've been out of the spotlight. Who knows where they're at.
Yeah.
But as you get more people growing up and going into different types of music,
Yeah.
they're gonna know Jack White. They're not gonna know the White Stripes necessarily.
Yeah.
And Jack White is not not someone you're gonna resonate with, unless like maybe you were someone who was grown up to play classical guitar or something like
Yeah.
that, and then you hear Jack White and you're like, wow, this is sick. Which, in a music's perspective, it is awesome music.
Yeah.
It's just there's nothing about it that's luring in new people. I feel like,
Yeah.
or at least not to the extent as. Maybe if like the Gaslight Anthem put out a new album.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny because Brian Fallon's solo stuff is amazing.
I haven't heard it.
It's
Haven't heard
really
it.
good.
Is it good?
And it sounds like Gaslight Anthem. It does, but like it's definitely just not the same. It's just obviously it's very him focused. It's
That's
not
awesome.
like I mean it's obviously him focused, but
Yeah.
it like we said, it's kind of hard to come up with an answer for something that's clearly no one has come up with yet.
And very just last final thing here. Travis Scott's performance
Good or bad?
was super hype. I don't like.
Hype? Like
He was
you
just
mean?
like it was very energetic.
Oh.
Like I'm not a big consumer of rap music live.
Mm-hmm.
It's very anticlimactic for me. I love the genre. I have a great respect for hip hop artists. You know, there's like, you know, the backtrack just plays and like they don't really ever have to sing because like they use the backtracking, like those backtracking tracks or whatever to keep them in time, or if like they miss a beat, like it's still going, you know, like you can still hear the music. It's just them up on a stage singing to like almost like karaoke for me. Like that's what it is. But like in a sense, and that's not to disrespect, it's just what I've noticed about live performances, and not every artist does it.
Right.
I'll give one quick example really, really fast, but you know, Travis Scott did it, but he had so much energy. Basically, he was like screamo on his songs because he was so hyped. Like, that's how that's how into the song he was, jumping around, fireworks everywhere, fire going up, just scream. He's just really good. I don't know. There was something about that resonated with me. But you know, Eminem had a full band there.
Really?
He had a full band.
That's interesting.
He had a DJ, a drummer, like 2 backup female singers. 50 Cent was out with him as like his hype man.
His songs, I feel like need it. Though.
Yeah,
they
he had,
definitely
like, a
need
pianist there. Like it was like he had the whole stage covered with instruments and people.
See,
on
I
it.
would love that.
I thought that was awesome. I was like, See, that's great. And the song still sounded the same. You know what I mean? Like it was still him rap. That's what I wish more rap artists would do instead of just having a DJ play the backing track and then you just karaokeing off of it. It's really like for me it was anticlimactic. Seeing that with Eminem was like kind of refreshing. It was like nice.
Yeah,
like,
I like that, and he's also a very professional musician.
Yeah.
He comes off as professional in his
Yeah,
shows, but I wish that obviously not everyone has that budget.
Not everybody.
Because you got to pay
Right,
every single
not
one of those
everybody.
musicians. You got to maintain those instruments.
Of course.
There's a lot of money.
Of course.
But like, obviously, 2 Chainz has that money. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason.
And he was billed low. He was billed low.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, if he changed it up with that performance aspect, maybe he would grab new people.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it's something to think about in that
Something to
sense.
think about. No, I like that. I like where that's headed. Let's see what happens.
But in terms of also phasing out, goodbye Warped Tour.
Goodbye.
I mean, I always had fun at Warped Tour, even though it hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
Like it's. This is another thing. Like, I guess this is gonna go back to the 30 thing. Like, a lot of these bands, I don't know them,
Yeah.
and like I'm willing to know them,
Mhm.
but like Warped Tour doesn't do them justice in a lot of sense because it
Not a
feels
lot.
very like thrown together,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm not getting the best impression up
Yeah.
front. So and also I feel like I don't know. Warped Tour is just kind of. I feel like it's time. I actually thought it was gonna end 2-3 years ago. I thought it was going to end 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And again, it's fun, and especially as someone who went to it like a lot. I actually jumped on the train late. I think you and I probably went to our first one at the same year, something like that.
I think so.
It was like 2010 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I actually went to Bamboozle before Warped, I believe, and you even with that short amount of time. It changed. It was not the same atmosphere.
So true.
It felt less about the music and less about we're doing it now because we gotta.
Yeah.
Is
It was
that-
almost like it became a chore for them. Like, oh, we have to do this time of the year.
Mhm.
And you could tell, like, I never went to the ones that were like the early Warped Tour years. You know, I'm sure they were very well put together.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe there's listeners out there who went to some of those OG ones, and if you did, tell us your experience. But I really thought, like back then in the day, like it was like there was so much energy. Like it was like I don't know, like there's always a lot of energy there with like the people that go. Like if you're a fan of that band, you're gonna go. You're gonna bring the energy. But like I think, like you said, like as it started getting on and on and on, it was just another year of it. Like you could tell that the performance value on the venues part, or the people putting it together kind of dwindled out.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of the bands like they weren't making as much money. Like not the bands, the tour itself wasn't pulling in as much money.
Yeah.
So when it came time for finding the bands for next year, and they're reaching out to all the like Blink-182 got back together. Obviously, the Blink-182 maybe they started on Warped Tour, but now they do not need Warped Tour.
No.
They're stadium level,
Yep.
and it's like. You want them back because they still fit. They still would fit that bill. But it's like, for our needs, we're going to be away from our families for the whole summer.
Yeah.
So that's our time. Then Travis Barker alone, probably his equipment to transport probably would be double what the lower end drummer would need. And also, they're used to like pyrotechnics and stuff like that, and all that's gone when you're doing Warped Tour. Yeah, because it's like all that is trimmed down to nothing because it's just a metal stage that they have to throw up and just get it going.
Yeah.
And then also, you're talking to a band that's used to playing 2-hour sets. Now you're cutting down to 40 minutes.
And that's right.
And that's why I think like you have a lot of bands on this last Warped Tour, like Taking Back Sunday. They're doing it out of respect. I feel like almost because they're playing one day. They're playing like the first one.
Oh, okay.
And then that's it.
Yeah, when are they playing?
I believe it's in Ventura, California. They're playing that one day, and then like you'll have people who like swing by, like, well, I'm on tour already, but I'll play at that date.
Yeah.
And they're probably playing like acoustic because like it's not they're just literally doing it just to do it one last time, or it's just out of respect.
Yeah.
And that's nice in a way for the fans who do go and still want like that or try to get something out of that old experience. But it unfortunately it lost its self a little
Yeah.
bit, and I guess that obviously changes. It's not completely their fault. The fans change.
Yeah.
Punk rock faded out a lot.
Yeah.
And then they had to branch out, and they had to go to metal. They had to go to, I think Katy Perry was on Warped Tour at one point before she was massive.
Yeah. Great stuff.
And Mike Posner was on there.
Man, I think he got booed off stage in New York.
Was he?
I don't know. I remember somebody telling me that he wasn't well perceived. And
all right.
I don't know. I mean, that could be fiction. I was not at that Warped Tour in particular.
Well, it's actually so.
Or maybe I just missed Mike Posner, but somebody told me that they did not have a great.
I can imagine. It's funny because like they market themselves as a very inclusive thing, so it does make sense that they would pull in other genres. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't know. I feel like maybe they needed to branch out more, make themselves more like Governor's Ball, but that is completely betraying the original purpose.
Of course, yeah.
So
it's a like kind of a not even a win-win. It's
a catch-22.
Yeah, it's like
it's like either you completely quote unquote sell out, or you end out on the highest note you can. And I think that's probably what they're doing.
Yeah.
And maybe like in a few years or something, they'll pop up again as like a one-time thing, just to like out of nostalgia / paycheck.
Paycheck mainly.
Nostalgia makes money. It does.
It really does. Let it take a hiatus for a couple of years.
I think it would.
More than like 5 years. Then bring it back like reunion.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then get
come
like
back with a bigger budget and can get some of these like bigger bands.
Or don't book 90 bands.
And that's actually what I was gonna say too. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I book like someone big, like book the Gaslight Anthem or Under Oath.
Yeah,
I think Under Oath is on it, but you know what I'm saying, like, and make like Day to Remember, like get those big bands that started on there, and like make it so it's like Day to Remember, Under Oath, Gaslight Anthem, whatever, and then just have like 10 other bands, and then like that's it. And then I think they'll definitely make their budget. Yeah. And they'll also be able to maybe do it again in 2 years instead of 5.
Yeah.
No, like,
I think like, as you mentioned before, we basically went to Warped Tour like the same year, basically, and like ever since like the last like 2 or 3 years. Funny story. I'll tell the listeners. Oh, see, I got it right this time.
Woo!
Every year, I would say probably for like the last 3 or 4 years, Ryan and I, we've been like, dude, the Warped Tour lineup came out this week. You gonna go? And then it's like, I don't know, and then like the day of,
we end up going.
It's all right. We're gonna hang out the night before and just party and then go. Yeah. Let's just do it. Let's buy the tickets now. Because it never sells out or anything. And that was us particularly last year.
Well, last year we went for free.
Last year that was awesome. We went for free, but even then, like the day, like. That was like the day of, or like the night of.
Yeah.
Like at midnight, you're like, yo, I got free tickets. Like, I was like, fuck, Ryan, I wasn't gonna go to this thing. I guess I'll go now. So like, you always find a reason to go.
Yeah.
And you know what? It is the last full country run, so there's nostalgia purposes there.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna go, we're gonna see it to the end. But yeah, I definitely feel like they could have done better with the lineup. Like I'm not really that impressed, and I have a list here just very quickly of who I'll go see. Maybe you I feel like you have.
I see 303 on there.
I feel like you have to go see 303. Okay, no matter what you think about them. All right, that's
my first kiss and a little like this.
Right? They're like 303 is a must. Like I have to go see them no matter what. The Aston Alexandria, the last time I went to go see them at Terminal 5, they put on a spectacular performance. The new album is nothing like they've done before. It's a lot more mature. It's better musically, better vocally. The writing is a lot better, so kudos to them. I would go see Issues. I haven't necessarily liked their performances lately. I feel like the sound is always messed. There's something about the live. They're not a great live performance band. They're a great CD band, in my opinion. But
says a lot.
Yeah, but their screamer is no longer with them, Michael Bond. So I kind of don't know who's doing the screamo now. I think it's their bass player or their guitarist. So I think it'll be kind of cool to see them. Just like for a few songs. Real Big Fish is always fun.
Oh, they're great.
I'm not a big ska person.
Nobody
Ryan
is.
kind of got me into this, like going to these kind of like.
Nobody is a ska person.
Yeah, but like I remember, I was like, the first time I went to go see Real Big Fish, Ryan's like, yo, you gotta go. The ska pits are fun. Like
They are. They're
I
great.
was like, nah, dude, ska not my thing. I'm gonna skip. And I was like, I'll go. And I liked it. It was a good time.
They're
it was
fun,
a lot of
yeah.
fun. So like, I'll definitely go and have that nostalgia purpose.
Ska has definitely like become that dance music of the past.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
Yeah.
I just want to like go and just like, I don't even care if I like it's. I do like ska, but like I feel like if you're not a ska fan, you're just gonna go because it just looks so much fun.
It's so much fun. Nobody's out to kill you.
Yeah.
You got those, some of those idiots in the, killing each other in the mosh pits, like going after you purposely.
Yeah.
Sometimes happens. Not all the time. A lot of people that are there just to have fun. And if you're in those kind of pits, you know what's gonna happen. You're sure to expect that. But ska, it's very welcoming. Everybody's very nice. Like it's just chill. It's pretty cool. For Your Strong, maybe, possibly. Simple Plan is gonna be there. This Wildlife, I always enjoy them. We the Kings, I've seen them like a million
I've
times.
seen them. I've met them.
Cool just to revisit them. I haven't listened to any of their music in a while. Chelsea Grin's gonna be there. I'm a huge Chelsea Grin fan. They have a new Screamer and a new album coming out, so that's gonna be kind of cool. There's some of their new music. The 2 singles that they did release, pretty heavy stuff. It's gonna be pretty good. Ice Nine Kills is always fun. Silverstein is always fun.
Silverstein's great.
Senses Fell will be cool.
They're great.
Right, they're gonna be great. Maybe Motionless in White here and there. Some other possibilities: The Main, Real Friends, Kool-Aid Khan, As It Is, Knuckle Puck, Set It Off, Mayday Parade. Those are all their possibilities. But really, like you said, I think what Warped Tour has really done in the past is that they've tried so hard to get so many bands to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Governor's Ball, like you already said, they have a bigger budget. They can afford some of those, and they have a lot of people on the bill for 3
They do
days.
have a big bill.
But if you look at it in just one day, they don't have as many people for the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have, like, Warped Tour has way more. And I think Warped Tour would actually be beneficial if they just focus on getting 10 big bands on there.
Right.
Or 12 big bands, and then have them play an hour each. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It really is just, I think it would have been a little bit more beneficial towards them. But a question that I have, and
Oh boy, I love questions.
for all the listeners as well, a
Oh,
question.
it's not for me.
Tell us what you think. Being that Warped Tour is basically obsolete now. It's on their last full
It's
country
about to
run.
be.
It's about to be. Do you see anything coming in the ashes and taking its place? Any other? We used to have Bamboozle. We used to have Skate and Surf. We used to have all of these different. Do you see another thing for these post-metalcore, post-hardcore bands, metalcore bands, pop-punk bands? Do you see something coming for them? Or do you think it's just full country tours for them from here on out?
They're overshadowed by the Lollapaloozas and the Governor's Balls because I mean at the end of the day, like, all right, I have a show that's gonna offer me, or Bonnaroo even, like I'm gonna have it's like I have a show that's gonna offer me 10 massive artists that I listen to on the daily, I have some nostalgia connection for. And it's this price. Worth it, in my opinion. And then I got Warped Tour, where it's like, okay, I got 5 bands that I really like.
Yeah.
But then you get there and you find out the 5 bands that you already like are either playing at the same time, or
that always happens.
Or they're not on that date.
Yeah.
Or it's like, obviously that's on you to look to see who's playing on the date you can go.
Yeah.
But you're more limited with Warped Tour in a sense that, yes, it's for the scene of punk, metal, screamo, whatever.
Yeah.
And Lollapalooza and Bonnaroo and everything, they're saying, you know what, we get something for everyone.
Everyone.
And
Literally everyone.
so I guess, like, as someone who grew up loving punk rock, the idea is still amazing to me to go to a festival that is just for punk rock.
I think that's awesome.
I still would love that.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, you're not going to last very long.
Nope.
And no one is willing to take that risk because if it flops, that's
Yeah.
a ton of money that you're out.
Yeah.
And I still get why the venues still do it, like the Jones Beaches and the PNC Art Centers. I get that because like to them, they're not losing anything on because they're not running it.
Nope.
They're just like, all right, we'll give you the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't
exactly.
care.
Yeah.
Like that's
No sweat off our back.
yeah, and it's like, and I feel like also what is definitely hurting it is like the liability of like the mosh pits and the stuff like that because like you get someone who gets hurt and then like all of a sudden someone's getting a lawsuit. And like I know they have those half-hearted signs.
Don't be stupid or something like that.
Well, they're also like kind of mean.
Yeah.
They're like only idiots mosh or something like that, and it's just like, well, you just called half your fan base an idiot because that's literally 95% of the crowd.
95% of the crowd. It's like that's what makes the crowd lively. It's like
Yeah.
the crowd, and not only the band, it's the crowd. You know, like you go to a hardcore show, you know there's gonna be pits. You know there's gonna be
you
moshing.
expect it.
You know there's gonna be crowd surfing. People are gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? So like it happens. It just so sucks. You know, it sucks that they're getting lawsuits over it. You know.
Well, I think they got one, and they kind of. I remember the year that those things started showing up. I think someone either threatened it or it didn't, or it happened.
Okay.
So it's a shame that Warped Tour's, for at least the time being, closing up. But because it is a lot of good memories and a lot of fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not what people are looking for anymore.
Of course.
But so to move on, we're talking about this is gonna be a quick little list, just some things that you might be interested in, if you're looking for new music coming out, because we were talking about how every Friday, you're overwhelmed. So maybe you can narrow in on some things.
Yeah.
We took a listen to like some of the singles for these because obviously now that these albums aren't out yet. Oh, actually, the first one is, but yeah. So the first one is on June 8th, which passed. Dave Matthews Band. We heard, what was the single's name?
Samurai Cop.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, to me, it sounded very much like a Kings of Leon.
Yeah.
At least instrumentally. Oh, I mean, it still sounded like Dave Matthews. Like he has a sound, and I think he's kind of stuck to it for his 20 plus years of career.
Yeah, I mean, this is a band with a very large catalog. And catching up to their music alone is daunting.
Yeah.
There's so much.
And those albums are never short.
Never short. They're always like a good
13, 14.
Yeah, they're a good length. So, I mean, like for listeners out there who do like Dave Matthews, it's nothing really different in my opinion. It is their first album since 2012. So I feel like for those who want more Dave Matthews and like, where the hell has he
You've been itching for it.
This is a good opportunity to kind of just enjoy new music.
I know he has an amazing performance, so like I'm sure he'll be touring.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if you didn't like the album, I'm sure there's a set that he's gonna be doing that I'm sure would just be amazing. Because like I know I've seen videos, I've heard like live albums from the band, and they're even like with a live album where it's definitely not the same.
Yeah.
You still like I know two bands that have always put out amazing live albums, and they're like so encompassing and so like even like on the CD you listening to it, you're just like, wow, this is sick. And that's OAR and Dave Matthews, and I'm sure there's more. I think Linkin Park had one which was really good. What's funny is the Madison Square Garden like concerts, it's almost like you're playing Madison Square Garden because you just need to say that you're playing Madison Square Garden. It doesn't hold that many people. I mean, in terms of stadiums, it doesn't hold that many people. Like, if you're going for, like, obviously, he probably will play there, just like I said, because you're playing Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're, like, he could probably sell out and still probably make more is MetLife or, like, one of those. Like, because that place is huge.
Yeah.
And you definitely could. It is completely different. Like the New York City venues, I feel like are on the smaller side.
Smaller side.
Like
very small. Yeah.
Even the new Nassau Coliseum, I don't think it's that big.
I don't think so because it's primarily being used for the hockey rink, right?
No, the Islanders are in Brooklyn.
But I think they're supposed to be moving back.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, and hockey rinks typically only hold about 18,000.
Okay, I didn't know that they were going back.
I read an article that they were going to be doing that, hopefully, and get out of Brooklyn. Brooklyn has not been nice to them.
No, I know that. That I know.
It has been a rough go.
that I did know. I went to a few games, and it was not
rough.
like, yeah. after that, you have Mike Shinoda. It's his first solo album that's not Fort Minor.
Yeah.
And from the singles that I heard, Crossing a Line.
About You was one of them. And then something with nothing in it. I forgot. Nothing.
Okay.
So, yeah, I forgot those.
But they were very... I thought they were strong.
Yeah.
There was... he right after they had the concert in honor of Chester Bennington, I know he put out a couple singles, and there was only one of them that I liked. The other ones were super short for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I'll definitely take a look at this. And if you do want more, at least of Mike, it definitely doesn't sound like Linkin Park.
It does not.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
there's guitars in it and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but it's not Linkin Park.
it's not Linkin Park at all. And some people may listen to this thinking it's another thing of Linkin Park, it's just a continuation, maybe just him now. You know what I mean? But the production value on it is very high. It's very good production. It has guest appearances from Black Bear, Machine Gun Kelly, to some other unknown rappers and stuff and producers. As Ryan was saying, it's good stuff. The writing is good. Everything is good about it. So and it's it's his own thing. It was his journey out of his sadness and grief for Chester, and coming out of it, trying to get past it, and this was his way of coping with it.
You can definitely hear it too.
You can
hear it.
Everything is so heartfelt too.
Yeah.
It's just you can tell a lot of time and effort, and there was a lot of sadness when
He was writing
this.
it.
And
Yeah.
it was it's very emotional, and I think it connects with the listeners in general. So,
Because it's not the best album ever to
it's not
come out, but you could definitely tell that he put his all into it.
Yeah.
Which is, I always felt that way about Linkin Park albums too. There was even the last one, I felt like they never just churn them out. They had a meaning behind every single one of them. It might not have been what people wanted to hear,
True.
but you could definitely tell that it meant something at least to them.
Yeah.
And they never just let a label dictate what they were making.
They always did what they wanted to.
Yeah.
And they always had that vision for the band. And they never broke it. They always
Yeah,
did.
no, it no matter what the sound was, it still had that Linkin Park touch to it, which I always appreciated. So it's I do like that Mike is carrying that torch, so to speak, into his solo stuff. And if Linkin Park comes back, I'm sure it'll be a similar touch to that.
Yeah.
It will be something where it's their album, not the labels.
Not the labels. Yep.
So, and then the next one, I really just don't give a shit. Mayday. I mean, they're good for covers.
It's so funny because I saw that on the list, on the agenda, and I was like, oh, fucking Mayday Parade. I was like, listen, I've seen them live. Was not impressed. The one time, I think 2 times I saw Mayday Parade play, they only played their current album they were promoting. They didn't play anything that... They didn't even play covers. I was like, your covers are better than your music. And some of your old stuff from the first 2 albums...
When the Go Radio
really
guy
good.
was in it.
Oh,
When the Go Radio guy was the singer,
Yeah.
they were good.
They were really, really good, and then I don't know, when I saw it on the agenda, I laughed, and it's so funny because in my notepad here that I'm looking at, kind of just reference things off of, I didn't even put them down. So when you said Mayday Parade, I was like, wait, hold on, they're not even on my list. So I even left them off, knowing that they were on the agenda in the first place.
We're not trying to just talk shit about Mayday Parade.
No, not at all.
They are obviously talented enough to keep going.
Yeah.
They're not. It's just it's so funny the discrepancy between whenever they do those Pop Goes Punk, how great those covers are, and you're just wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
They did Bush once. They did Someone That I Used to Know.
Yeah.
Then When I Grow Up, wow, that was 2009.
Yeah,
Jesus.
When I Grow Up, We Are the Champions.
In my head, I remember that one. Come Down. That was the Bush one. Yeah, no,
they do great covers.
They do really good covers.
Solid cover bands.
And they're well produced covers. And it's just then you hear their original stuff and you're just ugh. Yeah. This sappy, cheesy, painful. It's just this is a rough time. And I've seen them live too, and I think I walked away. It was at Warped Tour, and I think I walked away.
You're lucky, because I had the unfortunate mishap of being stuck right in the middle
Ooh.
of the crowd, pinned, sandwiched by 2 15, 16-year-olds. I think I was 17 or 18 at the time. I was like, fuck,
They have the unfortunate circumstance where every single one of their songs sounds the same.
Yeah.
Every single
one.
one.
I remember being in the crowd and I was like, oh, I can't wait till they play some of that old stuff and these cover songs. They just promoted the album that came out. That sucked. I was like, oh my god, they played no songs that I know. I just sat.
They didn't even play that one.
I missed so many bands because of Mayday Parade. I was like, you are the most hated band for the whole day.
Did they even play that one that everyone knows?
Jamie All Over?
Yeah.
No, I think Jamie All Over might have been the only one, and there was like a few other. Like I said, I'm a huge Mayday Parade from the covers and the first and second albums. That's all you need by them in the catalog.
Honestly, if you played a Mayday Parade song, unless I heard the Go Radio guy's voice, I would not know what album it was from.
You know, like, it's just, and they have some great early stuff. Like, I'm an early Mayday Parade guy. They played absolutely nothing besides Jamie All Over. That's the only one. I was like, wow, this is. I want my money back. I just got pinned sandwich in your crowd. Couldn't move to get over to somebody I actually really wanted to see.
But it's funny because they're still like in that scene pretty big. Yeah. People still go.
No, and they're turning out great sounding albums. They're great musicians all around, but the songs aren't catchy. They're just not.
Yeah, they're boring.
You know, they can play their instruments and they can sing and do this, but I'm like,
they're not doing anything to like make me want to buy that new record. They're nothing that I can go crazy over.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I know you. This is more of a you pick.
Nine Inch Nails' Bad Witch is coming out June 22nd. I have a soft spot for Nine Inch Nails. I mean, as long as you know me, you've known that I've loved them. For a long time, Nine Inch Nails went on a hiatus. Their first full-length album was in 2013, the kind of comeback album, Hesitation Marks. And then after that, Trent Reznor has been very focused on soundtrack music, getting into Hollywood. And he does great scores. I mean, he's a great producer. Very eerie shit that comes out of his programming and whatnot. Very talented. Always has been. I am very excited for this Nine Inch Nails album. It is being considered an album, even though it's only like 5 or 6 songs. The initial plan. So Nine Inch Nails, they've been very active since 2016 for the most part. It was Trent Reznor's idea to come up with an EP trilogy. Their first EP that came out in 2016, I forgot now the name, something with events in it. It was really, I forgot the name. I'm just bad at this. And then the second EP was Add Violence, and then it was supposed to be Bad Witch. But Nine Inch Nails, primarily Trent Reznor, said, you know what, we're just going to make it an album, and really it's not a full-length album. It's pretty short. Very focused on the production aspect of it. There's a lot of synthesizers, there's a lot of pianos, a lot of drums. Some people might think it might just sound like noise. I'm not sure what your take is on it, but it's pretty cool. They always turn out pretty good stuff. And granted, it's not the Nine Inch Nails of old, but it is pretty cool. And Atticus Ross is now an official member of Nine Inch Nails. Atticus Ross was very involved with Trent Reznor in a lot of these soundtracks, and he does his own soundtrack stuff. But he's been very kind of hands-on with Nine Inch Nails in the past, from the background of things. So it's actually really cool now to see him as an actual member of the band.
That's a cool name, Atticus.
Atticus Ross, yeah. The dude is freaking awesome. And I'm excited that he's been in the band ever since.
I might name one of my future puppy children Atticus.
Atticus? I think that'd be cool.
My thing with him is he used to have more emotion, Trent. And I felt like after he started doing the Social Network and those soundtracks, which are cool soundtracks, but it's not him. So I feel like he's stuck in this am I still doing a soundtrack or am I making a Nine Inch Nails album? And from the one that I heard, he's not really even singing. He's just kind of droning. And maybe he's probably doing it on purpose, but at the same time, it's not hooking me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a complaint that I've heard. Nine Inch Nails fans are always going to be Nine Inch Nails fans. So if you listen to his previous things and you like him, you're always going to kind of support them. I know that for people that are trying to get into it and they hear the new things, they have the same exact outlook. They're like, oh, this guy's not a good singer, and what is he doing? He's there's no melody, there's no it's just drone music, And that's I mean, like he's been like that on a lot of these EPs that have come out since the first one in 16. Didn't really have like a lot of singing on it or whatever you would define as that, as like being what his old style is. But it's definitely less focus on that and more on like the production value.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's his art, like that's the way that he is, that he's always kind of been like, he's always been experimental, so I feel like it's his take on that, and it does go with the music. It might just not hook people in instantly, and that's only like the downfall. Everything else is the production value.
It sounds
great.
really
it's
cool.
Really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see the singing being an issue, and
it's just funny because he can sing.
No, he can.
Like that's why it's like sing,
bro. He's a good rock
Do
vocalist. Like, he can do it.
But and then finally, Panic at the Disco. And I feel we this is something like we grew up listening to Panic at the Disco, as in, well, we grew up listening to Nine Inch Nails too, but like Panic at the Disco was something that came out when we were kids, and God, has their sound changed. Well, now it's just the band has changed. It's just Brendan Urie, who is probably one of the most talented people in the music industry right now, and he's definitely not emo Panic at the Disco anymore.
No, this is a completely revamped new like Panic.
I mean, it's not even new because, like you said earlier, like the new single Saturday Night and the other one High Hopes, it was they sound like the last album, which
it's like a continuation.
Yeah. And like the last album, I liked it for the most part just because I enjoy his singing. His singing is fantastic. And, like, I feel like there's, like, his singing and then some really cool bass lines, but you don't hear the guitar. You do not hear the guitar.
It's a lot of, you don't.
It's
don't
synth.
Hear it. Yeah, it's synth.
And then there's, like, some, like, brass in there. But, like, it's definitely completely, he's not going back. You can tell he's not going back.
No.
And, I mean, that's fine, too. I mean, he's found a niche, but it's still funny how he tries, or they both try. I know they're friends. But him and Fall Out Boy, they are very like neck and neck, who can sound better than the other. It's funny.
That's awesome that you mentioned that, because I'm thinking the exact same thing. It's like I've seen where both of those bands started off very kind of similar. I mean, like really, like they had their own uniqueness to it. But then as they start getting older, it's like one comes out with an album, then the next one comes out, and it's like they've both become very like revamped and like just like this new sound that's like more mainstream or whatever you want to say. But it's so funny because I feel like they're the few bands that release back to back albums, and like I feel like Fall Out Boy for a while they were just like one album came out, then there was like the next one. And same thing in Panic at the Disco. It was like one got released, and like then
right after it.
Then right after it, it's like this one is getting released. I feel like he took like no time, even though it's been like what. Like
I think that's a label too. That's a label thing.
It is. But I feel like they are basically like neck and neck, especially those two bands. Especially because I always feel like they released.
I believe they were on the same label actually. I believe they were both on Fueled by Ramen.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know. But I feel like they coincide with each other when it released.
Yeah, no, I just think that you're right though. It's so funny.
It's funny. It's funny. It's like because every like summer or every year I'm like I see Fall Out Boy. I'm like, all right, Panic is the next one to announce. So or like vice versa. I'm like Jesus. I'm like.
It's true though. Bands that sound like My Chem. Like remember them? They were like coincided with AFI and like all that. But it's just so it's interesting because they even have songs that kind of like argue with each other, at least more of late. But
and I'm seeing here it's like it's been 3 years right since our last album Fall Out Boy, but I feel like they've just been releasing music. So maybe I am wrong. Maybe I don't have a good grasp on the history of it all. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like I just been seeing both of those bands a lot lately.
Wow, you're right. That was 2015.
Yeah, and like I feel like they've been releasing music. So where the freak have I been? Like,
yeah,
I don't even know.
that's funny.
It's kind of funny, but I mean, regardless, I think both of those bands are neck and neck as to like top status now. You know what I mean? Like they're the competitors.
They've peaked.
Yeah, you want to be like those bands. That's they're doing it right.
If you want to do rock music, that's what's selling.
Yeah, that's what's
the
selling.
pseudo rock pop genre. But yeah, no, that album comes out on June 22nd,
Yeah.
and
Cool videos, by the way.
yeah, the
Fall Out
video
Boy.
is cool. I always
Panic.
oh
Panic at the
Panic.
Disco.
Fall Out Boys actually has some cool video. Every new Fall Out Boy video has a llama in it.
Oh, does it?
I was like watching them because they had 5 singles,
Oh.
and like there was like there's a llama in every single one. So they have a sense of humor. I do like that. Let's go to we're done with music. So now we're gonna talk about some other forms of entertainment. I don't think either of us have seen Solo yet, but from what we have heard, I've heard it's decent. I heard it's a fun movie. It's not Star Wars caliber, but it is a fun movie. Yeah, no, I still want to see it. I'm a big Last Jedi fan. I enjoyed it, and I do think that things could have been made differently, but I still think it was a very strong addition to the saga, and I do think that it took it in a direction that it needs to go for a fresh take. Obviously, people feel very differently about that, but I think people are out of line when it comes to harassing someone just because they didn't like their character.
Way to take it to the extreme level. Like,
Yeah, that's
just so
that's disgusting.
It's this is the world that we live in, and it's disgusting. Like you said, it's not right. I mean, like, what's the point? What does it do?
It doesn't
What does
do
it
anything except
accomplish?
hurt somebody. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't. They're still gonna be in the next movie. Disney's. The more you say bad things about them,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be like, well, Disney's not gonna be like, well, you know what? They really hate you, so we're gonna fire you.
Yeah.
Like, one, that's illegal. It's illegal in the context of what they're saying about her, which is horrible. But it's just like, two, what do you gain out of that?
Yeah.
Like, you dislike something. Okay, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very simple.
Yeah.
And, like, I get that it holds, like, nostalgia for you, or it holds a greater weight than some movies and stuff like that, which is understandable because I grew up with Star Wars and I love Star Wars. And I actually grew up with the quote-unquote shitty Star Wars, and I still love Star Wars. And I never had an urge to message Natalie Portman or Hayden Christensen and say, you guys suck. Like, I never had that inkling.
Yeah.
I just took the movies for what they were, and I'm into it. I read the comics. I read the books. Listen to the books. I don't ever want anyone to think that I actually read a book.
Ryan
I
actually
listen
does
to
not
books.
know how to read.
And remember, I work in publishing.
That's a great person to have in your publishing company.
I make the videos, but I don't understand why someone has the need. And I get that some of it's trolling, but it's just not funny. It's not cute.
No, it's not. And like, that's the thing is like, people think that they can make a difference, but like really, you're just a douche. Like, you're not making. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you can't even be in this industry without like somebody fucking with you. You know what I mean? It's just,
And you know that going in.
yeah.
But it gets to a point where
it's just too much. It's uncalled for. It's unnecessary.
Like, and you when you become someone in the public eye, politician, actor, whatever, you're gonna get flack. You know that. You should know that. And that's totally fine. Flack, criticism, it's to a level, it's okay. But when you actually are forcing someone to have to close down all their accounts because everything you're saying is hateful, and just because of who they are, that's not okay. And then obviously we won't know what else is going on with episode 9 until later on.
Yeah,
but
do you think we'll start seeing stuff in December or towards the
probably
new year?
probably it will probably Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm expecting the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And then supposedly now there's a rumor that Kathleen Kennedy might be stepping down from Lucasfilms.
Really?
It might be a rumor, I don't know, but if it's because of Solo's flop, like, I think that's very stupid.
Yeah.
Because I do think that these anthology movies are a little extra. I don't think we need them. I did not need to know the plot hole of a whole. Like, I hated Rogue One. I actually hated Rogue One, but I didn't have to go shitting on Garth Edwards to express my dislike. But I didn't think it was a necessary movie, and I did not like. I don't even think Solo was a necessary movie. I just want to see it because it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it to me, like, I don't think we need these, and I think it's gonna hurt the brand. I
think so.
It's not doing anything. Like, they're just there, and they do feel like money sucks, or just like cash cows. And I think maybe after this one, they might have learned, like, they're not just It's not gonna be as simple as just slapping the name on it. And it's gonna be once you sour the brand entirely, at least for certain people, they're not gonna come back.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna start to feel like this
in your face, like it's just there in your face.
And the thing with Marvel is it actually, before Infinity War, I was getting tired. Mm-hmm. I was getting a little tired because it's it starts to feel like, all right, here's the next one. And then Infinity War took it in a completely different direction. We're not going to go into spoiler territory, but if you haven't seen it by now, I mean, it took it into a different territory where you're just all right, it wasn't just this one-off bad guy. There's something more going on here.
Yeah.
And it kept you interested. I think if they keep up with the every 6-month movie, I think it's going to kill it, unfortunately. And I say that, but I'll still go.
Just like with everything else.
Just like Assassin's Creed. Yep. And then in terms of other movies, I do not really care about a Jurassic World 2.
I was very hesitant on the first one that came out.
Okay.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. It brought me back down memory lane. And then I don't know, now it's I went to go see it because we haven't had a Jurassic Park movie in
a while,
forever. I mean, so it was the opportunity to get back into it, to be oh man, this, I loved dinosaurs when I was a kid. This is great. And now it's all right,
it's literally Jurassic Park 2 though.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And that first trailer made me just not want to see it.
The first trailer was not enticing.
It was we have to save the dinosaurs from a volcano. Well, why'd you put the park on the island with a volcano in the first place?
I think I'm seeing it for Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, and I think that was smart. I think that was smart to bring Jeff Goldblum back.
That's why I'm there. If anybody catches me at the theater, I'm there for Jeff.
It's for Jeff.
Jeff, yeah.
Jeff is a gem. I do enjoy a good Jeff Goldblum scene.
Yeah.
And him in Thor 3 was great.
Yeah.
That was so good. Jeff Goldblum is a gold standard of human. But I'm not. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 63. I mean that's less than Solo, which got a 71. So if people are really not thrilled about Solo, I can't imagine Jurassic World 2 is gonna be a home run.
Yeah.
Because I feel in a way it's a lot of the same fans.
Yeah.
Obviously not entirely, but I didn't see the first one, but I do want to see Sicario. How do you say it?
Sicario?
Is it Sicario?
I believe so.
I do honestly, because of Infinity War and Deadpool, I'm on the Josh Brolin train.
I think we were having this conversation when we had both watched Deadpool and Infinity Wars. Brolin is he's just a versatile actor. He gets into the role. He's very good. Unlike you, I did watch the first movie. I thought it was really good. I mean, in terms of story, when is it special? It's it's been kind of done before. It's all about deep government agencies. CIA, all that, drug cartel. All that has been done.
Is
before.
Benicio in it? The first one? He's in the first one too?
So that's all been done for. Nothing special, guys. But if you're looking for a fun time, a good action movie with great acting, I mean, Brolin and Benicio are very awesome in it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it's one that you should go watch. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know. All I know is that everybody in my family, we're ready for it. Because
I'm noticing that Brolin's falling into a strange typecast. In some way or another, at least his last 3 movies, and from what I saw from the trailer of Sicario 2, they want him killing kids. They really want him killing kids. I don't understand why, but Deadpool 2, he wants to kill the kid mutant because he becomes this big bad guy in the future who murders his family.
Yeah.
And then in Infinity War, he kills his adopted child Gamora, and now in this he's gonna kill the other girl. I'm just damn. It's did his agent read all these scripts and you want to play a similar part in 3 movies?
Is he kill the kid or is he trying to save her?
No, Benicio's saving her.
Oh, okay.
Because she saw something, and the government didn't want her growing up to become an anarchist.
Okay, gotcha.
At least that's what the trailer let me
Because I love Brolin's phrase from the trailer. It's I'm gonna have to get dirty on this one.
Yeah.
He's literally like, I will need to get dirty.
It's like I just thought of that the other day, and I was like, man, they have him killing a lot of kids. It's like shit.
He has killed a lot of people recently. And there's gonna be a lot of deaths in Sicario. Too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
very good film. Watch the first one; it's great.
And then that comes out June 29th. And then after that, you got, for in terms of bigger releases, the first Purge, which I don't know. I didn't see Purge 3. I feel like this one's going to be very much a Trump satire, just based on the poster.
Yeah.
What was it? Make America Purge Again or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's like I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm getting a little tired of the same. I don't know. I just want to forget he's there.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
You know, I love Purge. I'm a sucker for the movies, all of them, whether they're good or bad. I've watched each and every one of them on the 4th of July or whenever. You know, they usually come out in July. In terms of, it's gonna be the exact same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a typical Purge movie. Probably won't get great reviews. It'll get good fan reviews because like fans. Sometimes you don't even care if the movie's in, but like it keeps you there, it keeps you entertained. Like you just want to see how people die, right?
Yeah.
And it's like. What creative
Whether that's
way?
good or not, but that's why.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of sad, but, like, you're there to indulge and to see people die.
Same with Final Destination.
Yeah.
It's not a new concept.
You're like, wow, those movies, they're pretty cool, the concept, when you saw the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch the other one because you just wanted to see how everybody was going to die. And,
like,
what interesting
it's
ways.
True.
Saw was another one. You just wanted to see
how
what
people
kind of creative contraptions they have. So I don't think the first Purge is going to be amazing. I'm still going to watch it. Just like I always do. I think it's going to be a fun watch just to see all the mayhem that goes down. And you know what? They have a market for it, right? Like a lot of people are like this are not happy with this new government, this administration. You know, and just so I think like they have a platform and like people are going to go and indulge and and you know connected to the Trump administration and what's going on in society in general. So I just think that they have a good platform for it because there's people out there that have a lot of distaste. But I think it'd be kind of cool to watch. You know? Get more backstory.
And then the last movie we're going to bring up is Ant-Man vs. the Wasp, which comes out 2 days later on July 6th. This is actually an interesting situation because I believe July 4th is a Wednesday.
Either Wednesday or Tuesday.
It's something like that. And usually movies don't come out. They're doing
that.
So that's interesting. They're doing specifically for July 4th.
Yeah. Which it's like they did that last year and I think the year before. It's great.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. I know they did it last year because I did go to the movies last year on the 4th of July to watch the last one.
The Purge 3?
Yeah, Anarchy.
I think that is kind of funny. But on that Friday, Ant-Man comes out. So it also makes sense because they want to get ahead of that ticket sales.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, honestly, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I'm going for the end because I want to see how it ties to Infinity War, and I want to see basically either if it's, I doubt Wasp will disintegrate, but I think
he will.
No, I don't think he will. I think his daughter will or Michael Douglas will.
Okay.
Because I mean, I mean, that would fill the plot hole. He's not there.
Yeah.
But I feel like that would be a little anticlimactic. Yeah. You know, that's the main reason I want to see Ant-Man. I want to see how it ties in.
For those of you who do not know, Ant-Man takes place in between, you know, like Captain America: Civil War and Infinity War. So it's like not like a direct sequel, but we do suspect that the ending will play out.
Yeah.
With Infinity Wars, like you know, something might be happening, and then people just start disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you expecting a lot from it, or you think not? I think
it's gonna be a fun movie like the other one.
Yeah, because the other one we went to go see that together, and it was surprisingly very good. It had no worries on its shoulder because like it was kind of just like a movie, like a fun movie. You know what I mean? And I really think that there's a possibility because this one, you know, it's had marketing, it's had promotional stuff, but like not a lot. It's not like, I mean, like maybe
there's like a few trailers.
Maybe within the community and stuff, like people know, like they watch it more. But like in general, like on just TV alone, I haven't seen much of it.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing on internet more so. I haven't seen a billboard or anything.
I haven't seen anything. Like it's got very, in the general public, low marketing. And I think it might be a surprise film. I think it might do pretty well. It might not blow you away.
No, I don't
not
think it's going to blow you away.
But I think that the ratings are going to be pretty good for it. I think it's a fun movie. It comes out in July. Like, a lot of the kids are going to go see it because it's more like PG.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it really is. Like, it doesn't have, like, a lot of, like... I don't know. I feel like that's one that caters specifically to, like, the little kids.
Well, it's funny because, like, I know they want to market Spider-Man to a younger audience, but, like, I feel like with Ant-Man, it's, like, the reason, like, again, reason why I want to just basically see the end is because I already know it's going to be a one-off villain.
Yeah,
you can
tell.
It's
a one-off.
I could care less about who the villain is. I don't even know. I just know it's she's another bug.
I think she's like
she's
Ghost.
Moth.
I think she's supposed to be like her name is Ghost or
Oh,
something.
I think it was Moth. Oh, all right.
I don't know. Maybe I have to look it up.
I'm sure there's. I'm sure there's because I feel like a lot of his bad guys are in the movies are bugs.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. He's John's looking it up now, but yeah, no, I feel like it's gonna be another one-off villain, and we're just seeing it to see it, and I get it, and I also understand that like that's how the comics are, like issue to issue, there's a bad guy of the week or month, and that's I guess that they're catching that that theme, but at the end of the day, like a comic book is $2, a movie is now 16 and up if you live in New York.
Yeah.
So I kind of would like a full rounded experience where it's not just a bad guy who dies at the end.
Yeah, the main villain is Ghost.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know where Moth came from.
I mean, like it would make sense. It'd be a Moth.
Yeah, because the last one was Hornet or Wasp. No, not Wasp. Right? Wasp is.
I think it was like the Hornet or something. I don't know.
It was something like that.
You know, like they're all. It's like you're bound to get a Moth in there.
I'm sure. I'm positive there's a Marvel villain called Moth. But yeah, no, I'll see it again. I want to see the end.
Yeah.
Am I just walking at the end?
Can you tell me when the ending of the movie is? Like the credits? I'll be back precisely.
Hey, I'll pay $5. I really just want to see the end. We can't do that, sir. I'm gonna go anyway.
Try and stop me.
I'll pay for this movie, and we're gonna go to that.
Very quickly, I had the opportunity of watching Hereditary.
All right.
For any of you out there that like scary movies, enjoy them, I highly suggest this movie. It had very little marketing, very little promotion. Like it, I didn't like. I saw it like in the movies. Like when you went to go see a movie, like they were.
I think I saw the trailer when I saw Quiet Place.
Yeah, I mean like the trailer, and like you didn't even like really see much either. It was kind of very
vague.
Very vague. You didn't really know what it was going to be about. I don't always try to go by what Rotten Tomatoes say because there have been movies that have gotten bad reviews that have been very good, but it hasn't like a 94 or 95% rating on there. It's very fresh according to them, and I had the opportunity to see it yesterday. It's about a family with mental illness, a history of mental illness. There's a lot of sinister stuff within the family history that has happened, more related to just a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to spoil it and give it away. But I definitely think that if you are interested in getting, scared and finding a good scary film, Hereditary is the main choice right now. I mean, it's the only choice really, but, we know that, they release every year like a scary movie, and not all of them are good.
Most of them are.
Most of them are like A Quiet Place was good.
It wasn't scary though.
But it wasn't scary, but it was still, it was like, it was supposed to be, but it wasn't. It was very good. The Conjuring 2, love those movies. I think that they're very good. Insidious, I think that they're good, but they've gotten bad. Like it's just
they should have stopped. Now they're like crossing over and stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not. They're not great movies like the later Insidious movies, but they're still fun to watch. And if you want to get scared, they have their good scares. Hereditary has a plethora of scenes.
Were you just like ready to shoot yourself?
That you feel the tension in the air. You're like
you feel it in your butt cheeks.
You feel it in the butt cheeks. You're like you don't know if you're gonna have explosive diarrhea or if it's just a fart. You don't know.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
And if I had to give you some kind of analogy to go by, that's it.
But with that said, we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks for listening. We are clearly bored. And I'm Ryan, and this is Malware Ferg.
Yo.
We will never explain why he's Malware Ferg.
It's a pretty funny story.
It is a good story,
Yeah,
and
maybe
maybe if like one day he hangs up his microphone, or if I die, and he has to give like one final eulogy podcast for me, maybe he'll explain it. But I'll probably just haunt him.
I actually would probably do the eulogy podcast on top of your grave site. Is that cool?
That'd be cool. Just put a microphone by the dirt.
You can just hear the dirt, the stillness.
Hey,
of
do
Ryan.
it in like California. Like, bury me in California, and then just like do it by a fault line. You can hear the shake, and then like if I shake, it's a yes. If it doesn't shake, it's a no.
Some hereditary shit.
Oh, well, that actually just sounds like tectonic plates. But yeah, so you could follow Frosted Green on Facebook,
Yep.
Instagram, or Twitter, and Malware Ferg. Please give your social media handles.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in hearing more of me DJ and some stuff like that, I have a couple things coming down in the pipeline, coming through the pipeline that I'm excited for. So you can actually catch me on Instagram at DJ_Droom, DROOM. And you can contact me there. You can look at some videos. I don't have much on there yet, but I hopefully will in the future. I also do some writing on the side. I'm looking to get into it more on like a full-time basis. I think that'd be pretty cool. So if you do have Twitter, follow me at JT Thomas Fiction, all one word, and you can actually follow me on there. And but I actually am going to be relaunching a website that I have where I do book reviews, maybe some movie reviews. I do a blog on there as well. And I plan in the future, when I have something more solid down that I'm happy with, of sharing some of my stories on there. So that should be up up on Twitter within the next day or so.
Cool. And also, if anybody listening has anything you'd like us to talk about next time we do this, we will definitely take it in consideration. Obviously, we can't get to everyone, but if there's just something that really is interesting that you'd like to hear about, definitely let us know. And yeah, thank you for listening.